Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today for sword support. I have about 6 weeks left on my splint because I broke my radial bone right below my thumb, and I haven't been able to make any rosaries, so like I said, I have a week and a half left of that, and hopefully in July I'll be starting physical therapy and be able to start making the cord rosaries, which are they're not easy, but they're a really good starting point of learning how to make rosaries and how to say the rosary. But in the meantime, I thought today I would tell you a little bit more about my devotion to the Blessed Mother and how that all got started. And I'm going to get a little personal, so bear with me because sometimes talking about personal stuff I get a little verklempt and choked up. So, but here we go. My mom, bless her heart, her name is Thelma. Bless her heart. She's just, I call her my little Polly Pockets mommy because she's 91 years old and she has advanced Alzheimer's. And she was diagnosed with that in the year 2000, and she's been in a facility since 2004. And yeah, that when she really started declining, it really was wearing on me. That I really missed my mom. I really wanted to have those conversations and the fun we used to have crafting and sewing together and just sharing my life with her and getting motherly advice on things. It just wasn't there anymore. And one time I was talking to a priest about it, and he suggested that I start saying the Memorare. So I had heard the Memorare at school, and we say it at work, but I didn't really pay attention to what it was. And but here it is. You can look it up, so you can print it off and say it. But it goes like this. Remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection, implored thy help, or sought thy intercession, was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, I fly unto thee, O Virgin of Virgins, my Mother. To thee do I come, before thee I stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me. Amen. So that prayer right out of the gate, the very first line, remember, O most gracious Virgin Mary. That's for not only for the Blessed Mother to remember, but it's for all of us to remember that never was it known. That means never in the world was anyone ever denied, because Mary answers her prayers. She will not be outdone in her graces and to her children. So it's never been known that anybody who sought her help or went to her and asked, hey Mom, I need some help, that she turned them down. That's never going to happen, and it's never been known to happen that she turns us down. She's always been there to help us. So that first line is so inspiring. And then it continues, inspired by this confidence. So that first line gives us the confidence to ask for what it is that we need, because we know that nobody's going to be turned away. And then it just ends with, thank you for not, let's see, inspired by this confidence, lead to the Virgin Mother. Oh, despise not my petitions. So we're asking her, please, to have mercy and pity on me. Don't despise my petition, but in your mercy hear and answer me. So we have confidence that she's going to do this. So I did. I started praying it and started getting to know what our Blessed Mother can do for us. And she has been a great stand-in mom since my own mom is unable to do the things that I miss so dearly. And it's really been a treasure. And that prayer has such power. I just want to share with you a story I heard about Mother Teresa. That Mother Teresa would say this prayer 9 times a day for 9 days. So that's a novena. Novenas are said for 9 days traditionally, and she would say them whenever she needed help. But the thing is, she would never ask for money. She would just say, "Oh, our school needs a roof," or we need help with this or whatever. And then, as long as our petitions and what we're asking for is in line with Jesus's will, our Blessed Mother's dear Son, in His will, she will take our prayers to Him, and they'll be answered. And Mother Teresa has never been um, denied any of the things that she's asked for. And I think that's a really great, inspiring thing to do. That if you're really stuck and you really need something, to say the Memorare for 9 times. So continuing on with my journey to uh, devotion to the Blessed Mother, in 2012, my sister Alice, she passed away suddenly. She was my best friend, and um, I never thought in a million years that I would be able to even live without her. Yeah. And it's been 7 years since she passed away, but it still chokes me up because I love her dearly and I miss her and I think about her all the time. And so the grief of losing someone you love so much is, you know, very overpowering, if you can imagine. And I started saying the rosary along with the Memorare. And the reason I started saying the rosary is because when Chelsea and I went to the funeral, um, Alice had a mass, a Christian burial. Well, I don't even think it was a mass. I think it was just um, the rite of Christian burial. Because my sister was not practicing her faith at the time, and that was her wishes to just be buried with a Christian burial. And so there wasn't a rosary, and that um, brought a void for me again because my faith is so important to me, and the rosary was always a great thing that we say, a tradition to say for people who have passed away. And so I started saying the rosary to help me with my grief and to bring closure for missing my sister so much. And it really did help. Um, but here again, I was only saying the rosary like a desperate prayer sort of thing. I wasn't really committed to saying it on a regular basis, and I would say it maybe once a month, or we would pray it together as a family, I think. Um, but then in 2016, John Paul II was Pope at the time, and he declared 2016 the year of mercy. And that was a whole year for us to pray for God's mercy because it's an unending well of mercy. He wants to give it to us and grace us with His mercy. And it was a whole year to pray about that and receive those graces through going to Mass and confession. And I think there were also like pilgrimage points around the country that you could go to and have Mass and receive um, special graces. And at the end of the 2016, there wasn't another year of anything. So I was like, oh, year of mercy. And I think 2015 was a year of something. I don't remember what it was, but I just remember the year of mercy really touching me and affecting me and improving my prayer life. And I was saying the rosary then a little bit more, but still not really committed. So then in 2017, since there was no papal declaration of a year of something, I decided to personally declare it a year of Mary. And I would say the rosary. I said I'm going to say the rosary every week, and I did. I started out saying it every week, And that gave me 7 days to get it in case I missed a day. Like if I didn't do it one day, I knew I had tomorrow to do it. Um, and by the end of the year, I was saying the rosary every day because I had just grown to love the prayers, and the devotion to Mary, and how she will purify my prayer and take it to Jesus, for the betterment of those who most need it most. And I just think that's just a wonderful, wonderful thing that Our Lady does with our prayers. And also, I had been reflecting that year on what Mary said to the children of Fatima when she appeared to them in the, um, when she appeared to them and the the children in Fatima. She asked them, to encourage everyone to say the rosary and told them about the promises, to everyone who says the rosary. I believe there are 15 promises. I don't know them by heart, so I apologize. I will look that up for a future video. But in the meantime, you can look that up, the promises of the rosary. And I was reflecting on those too, and I just really wanted those, and I want Mary to be with me at the time of my death and to hasten me to the Lord's side. And, I just, yeah, I just was hooked. And I started saying the rosary every day and every day. And then in 2018, I still to this day say the rosary every day. But in 2018, I started saying like all 4 rosaries for 9 days. So that was my own novena. So every day I would say the joyful mysteries, the sorrowful mysteries, the luminous mysteries, and the glorious mysteries. I would say all 4 of them. So say 4 rosaries a day for 9 days when I was really struggling with something. And the Blessed Mother has not let me down. And I just feel very close to her. And I know that my feeble prayers sometimes are, very desperate, but they're also very selfish. I just want to get through the day, or I want to feel better. I want my health to improve. I want to have a retirement. I want, my family to be healthy. And those are all great and wonderful things to pray for. And don't get me wrong. But knowing that my Blessed Mother is going to purify my prayer before presenting it to Jesus just makes me feel so good because I don't know anybody else who would do that for me. So she just presents me, a child of the Most High King in the best light that she can. So, yeah, that's how I started my devotion to the Blessed Mother. That's why I continue it. And thanks. Yeah. So I really hope that by listening to my videos and as we start learning to make the rosaries and say the rosaries and getting more into how the Blessed Mother can help us out, that you'll find a devotion for yourselves to our Blessed Mother. Start with a Hail Mary and just say a Hail Mary, and then, grow into saying a decade of the rosary and until you're saying the rosary, and it'll grow. Don't feel overwhelmed because the rosary is, it's kind of a little bit long. It takes about 15 minutes to say a whole rosary, 20 minutes if you're really reflecting on all of the mysteries, but it's really worth it, and I think you're going to like it. So, anyway, that's my story of my devotion to our Blessed Mother. Thanks so much for your time and for listening to me, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. God bless.